But Arthur fell just far enough outside of things to be left out of the loop with all of that. The 360 or so people living on the island still largely followed their pagan gods and lived a far more traditional lifestyle, although they did have a Wesleyan church and school on the island. King George Tupou granted them a degree of self-rule under their chief, Paulo Vihi. But life took a dramatic turn for the worst for the Artans in June 1863, with the arrival of a ship called the Grecian. The Grecian was, technically, a whaling ship that sailed out of Hobart, Tasmania. It had sailed from Hobart in December 1862 with a crew of 27 men under the command of a rogue named Thomas McGrath. McGrath had grown up in an Australian orphanage after his father was jailed for theft. As a young adult, he had followed his father into a life of crime, till he stumbled into a job on a whaling ship. Having married into a ship-owning family, he soon climbed the ladder further than he might have otherwise. Now, I feel quite comfortable in making this claim. In 15 years of sailing, the guy sank 3 of his own vessels through negligence. On this mission, having sailed out in search of sperm whales to butcher for whale oil, McGrath had run into difficulties. Whale numbers were heavily depleted, and many of those whales left were evading the Grecian. Having stopped at Wellington, New Zealand, to offload what little whale oil he'd collected, McGrath lost most of his crew in a mass desertion. These men were later rounded up and jailed for breach of contract. In the meantime, McGrath hired several replacement sailors from the Chatham Islands. With his new crew, he paused the Grecian just off the Kermadec Islands to approach his crew with a new plan.